Hi, I'm Ryan, and this is my Artist Way project reveal. Um, I wanted to kind of start off by telling a little mini story. When we were at the retreat, I remember somebody had like misplaced their water bottle, and Pat was talking to the class afterwards and kind of saying like, "Oh yeah, like water bottles are really important. Like they're really personalized. Like people put stickers on them, and that kind of represents like who they are as a person. Like when you like if you look at like the whole picture, not like the water bottle represents the person in their entirety, but like it represents aspects of the person. You can kind of tell like who owns what water bottle based on like how they decorate it. So we had that conversation, and I was just kind of like, whatever, the water bottles, I don't really give a shit. And then like a few weeks later, I was in Bellingham, and I dropped my water bottle, and it broke, and I was like, well, crap, like this doesn't feel great. And I knew I had to go get a new one, so I went to the store, and there was like this big water bottle that I found that looked like it was basically just like a big black water bottle, and I was just kind of like, this just looks like empty space to me. And I was kind of like thinking like, what should I do with this? Like it's only $5, so I'm not like too concerned about like uh, keeping it preserved or whatever. But then I had this moment of thinking like, oh, like I have a bunch of paints left over because when I like during the pandemic era, like I got into painting miniature figures for like 20 minutes because I had needed something to do. And I have all those paints left over, so I was just like, oh, like I'll grab some of those and I guess I'll paint something on there. And like my original idea was like, I'm gonna paint a picture of like my friend's dog or something. And then I tried it and I was like, I don't like drawing dogs. I'm not gonna do that again. So I ended up getting this like image in my head of like, I don't know if you've played the Super Mario World game on Super Nintendo, but like those kinds of like world background images that they have where it's like hills and sun and clouds and stuff like that. I kind of got that image in my head, and I was like, I want to like capture that on the water bottle. But then that started like kind of proliferating, and I had the idea of like, oh, like I painted this thing, but now I want to start adding more to it. Like not just this specific picture, but like I got the image in my head of like stickers, and I was like, what if like I just made a bunch of like fake stickers out of paint to like paint around it, and like it became kind of an exercise of like ignoring my like my penchant for pre-planning stuff, because like I would finish one like thing and I wait like a few days or whatever, and then I would like get out the paints again and paint another thing on it, and it just became this kind of like game for myself in a way of like I'm gonna paint something and then leave it be, and then like a few days later I'll look at an empty space and figure out what I want to paint that day, and it kind of became just like a little like routine, if you will, throughout the making of this water bottle, and overall it came out like this. Ooh. So this was the original one I was talking about, like the Super Mario World esque thing. And this one took probably the least amount of time, but it kind of like set the tone for me, I guess, because my thought was like I don't have like a really big like number of paints in terms of like colors to use. So I'm gonna try to like stick to like a very like simple, ugh, a very simple palette. um, So I wanted to keep like this kind of color palette, and then the next one I drew on top of it because there's like a bunch of space like basically above it. Oh, and down here like I colored out a bunch of the words so you can see the RS, which is Ryan Salazar. Ooh, theming. This one up here, I wanted to like do something for like kind of my base because I've had the same base since I was like 17 years old. This is like my 17th birthday, literally. So I made like a little like commemorative sticker, like this is our anniversary. Because like I've made jokes over the years. Like last year was the 20th anniversary of when I got my base, and like people were like, "Oh, like that's so cool." I'm like, "Yeah, we're going parasailing this year. That's our big like couples retreat or whatever." But that's kind of like the like I wanted to like kind of keep that like internal joke going of like that, and just in case, because I always love showing it off. This is my base. It's got all the wabi sabi chippings and all that. It's beautiful. I love it. I will never need another base in my life. But going from there, we're gonna come around to this side. This one, LKOH, that's a reference to my like solo music name that I've kind of landed on. LKOH means Little King Old Hall because the name Ryan means Little King, and the name Salazar means Old Hall. So there goes our win for etymology. And I wanted to like I was saying before, keep this kind of color palette, and this like happens to look really cool the way I did it. I wasn't intentional. It was just like, oh shit, like this actually like lands exactly like what I was kind of hoping for, and I was really stoked about like the way that this in particular came out. And then this one underneath, this was kind of in reference to like throughout my time at Seattle school, I've been writing different papers on like the concept of punk and like the punk movement and the punk scene and stuff like that. So this kind of became like a little slogan that I came up with while I've been at TSS, because like I've been thinking a lot about like the homogenization of punk and like how like kind of how much there's like kind of a set like structure to it, I guess, and that feels very antithetical to punk. So I made this, and it's a yeah, you know what it says, and there's a little smiley face, so it takes a lot of the sting away from it. And then here is since I really like outer space stuff, I tried to like get a little outer space painting in there, and like I like planets with rings on them, but I'm not very skilled at drawing rings, so I just kind of did this and was like whatever. And I made all the little star dots and stuff, and I was very excited about like that part of it at least, because that looks like really cool to me and kind of like fits my idea of what I like in outer space. I'm gonna cover this top one up because that's like my grand reveal for the end. This one was originally like a really big white circle, and it just said absurd on the bottom in the very like small side of this down here. Because my idea was like I wanted to make something absurd, and I thought like why not just waste a bunch of space and then just like call it out by saying that's absurd. And I the only reason I chose yellow is because I thought it would be like the hardest to read of all the colors that I owned, and I didn't realize that it read really well. So here we are. Now I have my little absurd painting, and then this is my final one. Ooh, it's a picture of my old chameleon whose name was Chris Jericho. I had him. I got him in 2018, or no, sorry, 2016, and he passed away in 2018, I think. This is like basically like the reference photo I used was like when I originally got him in 2016. This was like the like big puffed out body he would make when he was like super mad, and he would get this way with like everybody else on Earth except for me for some reason, which is why I ended up getting him and why we were like so chill with each other. Like I was like the only human that he liked, and I was like, well, I will take this honor with grace. This rules. So I made a little like painting of him, like, and I tried to capture like the way that he looks, because he was very like bright and colorful, but it was like weird kind of patches of different colors, which is why it was like it's not like 100%, but it looks pretty spot on for like what he looked like. And the only other addition that I really liked was his legs normally look like they bend a lot, because like usually when he gets in his big puffed out face, like he's like pressed down against the branch or whatever because he wants to look like a leaf, and he kind of like shakes his body like one. But in this case, I drew him with straight legs because A, I don't know how to draw bendy legs very well, and B, like I think it really adds to like the level of sassiness that he actually brought when he was like, out and about in his enclosure, because he was very like I referred to him. The reason I named him Chris Jericho is because there's a professional wrestler who at the time was like pretty much like a huge diva on stage. Like his whole persona was like he hated everybody, and was like going to be the first person to tell you why he hated you, and like he carried around a list of all of his enemies, like which is literally just anybody who did anything around him kind of thing. And that was the same kind of vibe that he had, but like he had the very kind of like straight laced walk, kind of like if you imagine like somebody's wearing high heels, like strutting down a runway. Like that was the kind of vibe that Chris Jericho, the performer, gave off, and also my chameleon. So I wanted to kind of like capture that. So he's got like his nice straight legs where he's doing his like sassy little walk across a branch that goes I don't know where. And yeah, that is it. I'm going to rotate this around a few times so you can get the full effect. And in your head, you can play whatever song you feel like matches that rotation for whatever reason. And that is the end of my presentation. Bye.